OpenAI app lets anyone conjure ultra-realistic video of historical figures in seconds. Fun until users started puppeteering Martin Luther King Jr. into crude memes. His family asked OpenAI to stop. OpenAI, what did they do? Well, I'll tell you in a little while. So, who actually controls a legacy in the age of AI? Today, we unpack Sora, deepfakes, MLK's estate, the legal grey zones, and what fixes might actually work. This isn't just internet drama, it's a collision between free expression, powerful new tools, and the dignity of people who can't speak for themselves. OpenAI initially allowed deceased public figures into their Sora videos. So after a wave of disrespectful MLK clips, the King family pushed back. And stick around to hear what OpenAI actually did. Sora is OpenAI's text-to-video system. Type a prompt, get a frighteningly good, realistic 10-second clip. I think now actually it's maybe not 60 seconds, but I think we're at about maybe 16 seconds. So anyway, it nails motion, lighting, and even lip sync, and that's what makes it so useful. That's why it exploded. You got the previous films. Teachers can illustrate their history or whatever it is they need to teach their students. And indie channels can tell bigger stories with a tinier budget. So when you put all these benefits together, it's no doubt, of course, a new innovation like Sora is going to explode in popularity.
King's got him up! He's on the roof! Oh my goodness! He threw it from the ceiling! Lightning crashed through the table! Justice rolls down like water! Listen to this crowd!
But the same power can cross the line. Users started to make hyper-real MLK videos, saying offensive things he never said. Similar clips targeted Malcolm X, Kobe Bryant, Robbie Williams, and more, turning people into meme puppets, really. For families, this isn't just satire, it's harm. It blurs the truth, it spreads tasteless fabrications, and chips away at how these people are remembered. I mean, for the user, I guess it's kind of fun. My honest opinion is it is a bit hilarious seeing MLK like playing soccer or in a WWE match saying he wants to fight Malcolm X. It's interesting because you got this dichotomy between here's this person who's done so much, he's brilliant, he was a doctor, he brought in the civil rights movement, he's just a heroic figure. And then you kind of, in a way, put him in these clown settings. Now, if I was related to his family, no, I wouldn't be oppressed. But as a creator, I kind of like the power to be able to do whatever I want there. So I've got mixed feelings myself. Dr. Bernice King, she publicly asked people to stop sending and sharing these AI clips of her father. The MLK estate formally contacted OpenAI, and here's how OpenAI responded. It actually paused Sora generations of MLK, and it announced that authorized representatives or estates can opt out of Sora cameos. Translation: families get the veto. Legally, this isn't straightforward though. Copyright protects speech and images. The right of publicity protects a person's name and likeness, sometimes even after death, dependent on the state or country the person's in. Now, platforms argue user-generated content is free expression, especially for public figures. Ethically though, what do you think? I mean, families see their loved one's image as part of their legacy, something to be protected, not exploited for viral laughs. Google's Veo 3.1 is a rival text-to-video model. Capability-wise, they're in the same league as Sora, or Sora 2. But Google appears more restrictive about photoreal people, especially in regions like in the EU or the UK. Limited uploads or prompts that create realistic faces of real individuals. OpenAI launched more openly or permissively. Then they tighten the rules after the backlash. So they do the free expression thing first, where they've got no respect for whether you're a respected public figure, whether you're a celebrity, whether you're your average individual in the street. They don't care. But they care after you complain or after you threaten to sue. Then they correct themselves afterwards. So, I mean, both Google Veo 3.1 and OpenAI Sora 2, they're both converging towards stricter safeguards, except VO 3.1, it starts off with the safeguards, whereas OpenAI, you literally have to force them to implement safeguards. So the positives of this, regardless, is you've got democratizes visuals for educators, journalists, and small creators. It speeds previs and concepting for filmmakers and brands. It revives history, hopefully responsibly, with permission and context, if you as a user opt to do it that way. But the risk is disrespectful to individuals. It can cause trauma for families. You got misinformation, disinformation. Viewers behave, they could believe the fabricated quotes or scenes made by the content creator using the AI to make this person say something they never said, or is the complete opposite of what that person would have stood for if they was alive. Reputationally harm people, as we know has always been the case with deepfakes. And you got something called the lies dividend, where there's an erosion of trust in actual authentic media. You now have to question, when you see real media, well, is that AI? And I find myself doing that. I've seen pictures where I know they're official. I've seen videos where I know they're official, but somehow they still look like AI. And that blur is starting to occur now. So what are the remedies? What should OpenAI actually do next? They should consent first, move from, instead of estate opting out, move to estate opt-in to real people's likeness. You know, don't fix things after everyone complains or tries to sue. Respect the estate of an individual beforehand. I don't necessarily agree, but I'll be honest, if it was my family, I would want it that way. But since it's not, and I know that's a selfish approach, but I'm just being real with you guys, I like the idea that I have creative expression and I can use these celebrities or these public figures or whoever in a particular way. I'm going to choose not to disrespect people in a major way. So I think that's why I like to have the freedom of expression, because I'm going to try and have some morality with how I use the AI or the Sora 2 or VO 3.1. But yeah, if it was up to me, we'd keep this free expression. So another remedy, sensitive list defaults, pre-block recently deceased people and high-risk figures unless it's approved by the estate or the family. We should auto-reject mixing real names with slurs, hate, tragedy, reenactments, or obscene scenarios. There should be watermarks for traceability, indelible labels, metadata, so that we can identify what is AI. So I know at the moment with the Sora 2, you've got the little star shape at the bottom right hand corner of the screen, just to show that it was generated using Sora 2. But I believe if you go for certain paid options, that star wouldn't be there, so you just wouldn't know. And then we've got advisory council, we've got work with estates, historians and right holders to build authorized historical context. You've got to take into account the rules locally as well and for the region you're in. So you could align the features with local publicity or privacy laws. For education user interfaces, you could have clear, persistent AI-generated banners, explainers inside of these banners. So if you're a creator, you can use these tools without crossing the lines. All you've really got to do is stick to fictional or generic characters or likenesses you actually have the permission to use. You could just basically respect the history with clear AI disclosures used when you put out your content. You could commentary, critique, and education. You could avoid crude shocks and basically exploiting people's pain. This technology, it wasn't invented to disrespect, but it can scale it. Now, the MLK episode, it forced a powerful company to rethink how it treats legacies. If AI is going to bring back the past, it should do it with permission, context, and care. So tell me, what kind of safeguards would you like to have in place before AI has the complete ability to replicate the image and likeness of another person? Tell me in the comment section below.